Gotcha. Also, I really like the set design based like for the trailer for Love and Thunder, like that. I
I'm
don't
so
know if it's
glad
like
you mentioned that.
CGI or what, but it is gorgeous. Like
So glad you
that.
mentioned that, and I'm so glad you noticed it because I don't know if you've seen the Star Wars The Mandalorian show.
I've
Um,
seen a little bit of it.
but there's this technology that was invented and was well the first kind of iterations of it were used on the live action Jungle Book movie that was directed by Jon Favreau. Um, and I think he also used it on the live action Lion King. I haven't seen it. I heard it was bad. Doesn't matter. But and it's essentially giant LED screens with backgrounds made in I think Unreal Engine. And it's a giant LED screen, and it's put on the screen and it's in the background, so that you get the lighting, like realistic lighting from the setting from the LED screen, while also getting that background. And you film it at a certain angle, and it looks like they're really in that space instead of using a green screen and putting the green screen on top of it. You already have the background there. And for the Mandalorian, they evolved it to the point of where now it's a giant circular room with obviously an opening so people can step in, with a set, like a practical set built in the middle of it. But around it or on the screens are the background made in Unreal Engine, and they can move it around and adjust it so that you have the realistic lighting from the LED screens as well as the background itself, so that they recorded on there. And for Thor: Love and Thunder, they're using an even bigger version of that for this film, or they used it for this film because they were done filming at this point. So I'm glad you noticed that, so that I could bring that up and talk about this cool new technology called the volume, that was based off of a idea, not based off an idea, but it just coincidentally um, um, reminds people of an idea that George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, had about people being able to make films from their garage in terms of like settings, as technology evolves, and in terms of making like backgrounds, and like instead of going out to a desert to film something, you can easily make it, in your garage. And that's kind of what the volume is, several times bigger than a garage, but it's essentially that. And coincidentally, it got famous for being used on a Star Wars show. So yeah, the volume is cool. It was also used in The Batman, which recently came out on HBO Max. So if you couldn't see it in theaters, anybody watching or UI era, it's on HBO Max now, and I'm actually going to rewatch it later with Blind Wave, the reaction YouTube channel again. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I was so glad when you said that. I was like, because I forgot.
Yeah, it's like I've always loved movies with like really really good set design, because like I know nowadays there are a lot of movies where it's like very hit or miss, like because everyone's relying on CGI so much. I'm glad to see like a refresh of the tech used to make these like backgrounds and settings and stuff. Like that sounds extremely cool, way cooler than
A
CGI.
lot of the use of CGI and mixed with practical, sets that just work really well together, and so that you don't look at it and just know it's CGI. You can look at it and you can't tell, even if it is CGI. And I hope more and more, especially MCU movies, since they lean so heavily on CGI, because they're about superheroes. There's no way you can make a superhero movie without CGI. So yeah, I just can't wait to see more movies use this. A lot of people also was like talking trash about, people were claiming that somebody posted something and said, look at the beautiful cinematography, and we're showing different shots from the trailer, and somebody said, this isn't cinematography, this is computer generated imagery, this is CGI. And I'm just like, that's not how cinematography works. Cinematography is literally just the art of filming a movie with a camera. It is not about whether you do it practically or digitally. That difference doesn't matter. That's like, it's like when some people say a digital painting isn't a real painting. That's essentially what the equivalent of saying that digital cinematography isn't actual cinematography is, and it's a ridiculous sentiment. But also, let's touch on what you mentioned at the beginning, people getting upset talking about some MCU, She-Thor, or whatever. And it's like, bruh, like somebody said something about, man, are there any like straight male characters in comics anymore? And I'm like, yes, majority of them. What are you talking about? It's crazy
like
how these people will make up a narrative in their mind that their content is being overrun by a bunch of queer and people that aren't white, when the reality is that it's still overwhelmingly white and straight everywhere. It's just that a little bit, it's just that the stuff that gets popular online is the stuff that isn't straight, because the straight stuff is boring because it's what we see all the time and we have a lot of it. So we find the what's that saying about like the diamond in the rough? We find it, like, and we talk about it a lot because it's so few and far in between. But go ahead.
Yeah, like it's like those same people that are like, oh, comic books weren't like this when I was. Yes, they were. It's those
Yes,
same.
they were. Like, people trying to
Like,
claim that Captain America and Superman were never political when they have been. They were literally created
to be political
because of
figures.
World War II.
It's those same dudes that have never read any of the comics in their life, but when you challenge them on it, they're like, I'm a Marvel fan. Like, it's the fact that they're loud and they're wrong. They're a loud, wrong majority, and it's so sad to see, because it's like, why does my enjoyment of like seeing myself in a comic or like a movie affect you so badly? Like, why do you care so much?
But like, Superman and Captain America were literally created because of World War II. Like, modern superhero comics spawned from World War II propaganda and just something that was made to also entertain kids during the trying times, you know?
I mean, the man's name is Captain America. How can he not be a political statement? Like,
It's ridiculous. People are ridiculous. But